hometown news and information station.
Welcome back. With us now is Bill Jones of the Jones Law Firm. We are talking about family law. Bill, before the break, we were talking about the different discovery devices, and you had talked about basically omissions, which were sending over questions to the other party and asking them to admit or deny.
That's right.
What are some of the other methods?
We can send out interrogatories. What those are is those are written questions that we ask the other side to sign and answer. We can ask for documents. We may want phone records. We may want bank statements. We're entitled to get any information that we request, unless it's burdensome. What that means is I couldn't ask for bank statements for the past 30 years unless I could show the court that I truly needed those statements for the past 30 years. We generally do a Rule 14 affidavit. What that is it shows our expenses and our income. It shows that we're bringing in this much money and we're spending this much money on food, on gas, on clothing. And what that's going to show the court is if there is a request for alimony, it's going to show either A, why alimony is necessary, or B, why the other party cannot pay alimony. And I'll come back to alimony in a second. But the other big thing that we do is a deposition, like you spoke of, and that's where we bring either the party or someone that we think has valuable information to the lawsuit into the office. We sit them down under oath and we ask them questions. And that's important because you find out the answers to some of these questions that you may have, which in turn facilitates the settlement process, which puts you in charge of your divorce. As far as alimony goes, there's a move right now away from alimony. What we want to do with alimony is rehabilitate somebody. We want to make sure that if it's the father or the husband receiving alimony or the wife receiving alimony, we don't want to take care of them for life. What we want to do is teach a man to fish. We want to give them enough to get them back on their feet and get them to where they can rise up to the lifestyle that they had. And certainly in short-term marriages, courts generally aren't going to award alimony. In a short-term marriage, you're just going to put the parties back to where they were prior to the marriage. You want to say, okay, you guys made a good run at this, it didn't work out, let's put you as close back to where you were before you began.
So what does the court consider a short-term marriage?
It's really subjective. It's going to depend also on what you did during the length of your marriage. Generally, I'm going to think that an 8 to 10 year marriage is going to be shorter in duration. The longer that you go, probably the more substantial the award of alimony would be.
Okay, and I guess one question that comes up in this area, since we're in a tri-state area, you know, if spouses separate and they're filing for divorce, and one spouse decides to relocate to either DeSoto County or Crittenden County in Arkansas, how does that affect everything?
Yeah, that's important in this area because we sit right on the boundary line of several other states. There are several steps that you can take. First, if it's anticipated, you can address it in your MDA. If it's not anticipated, then you're just going to have to follow the guidelines under the rule. But in your MDA, probably what the wiser course of action to do is, if you like Tennessee and if you like the laws in Tennessee, then you want to make Tennessee the home state and say that it will remain the home state in litigating over the custody or visitation of the children. The other course is if both parties stay in Tennessee, Tennessee's going to stay there. If just mom moves and dad stays in Tennessee with the kids, then Tennessee's going to remain the home state. You've got to both move out of the state of Tennessee and then enroll the judgment in order for Tennessee to lose jurisdiction over that matter.
Okay. Well, if spouses are if one spouse or both spouse, either one, are looking at divorce, how do they go about finding, the right attorney to handle the divorce, and what are you looking for in that area?
That's going to be something that you're going to need your input in on it. You know what your husband or what your wife is like, more so than I do or than you do. Mm-hmm. It's going to take some help from you to determine what type of attorney do you need. If your husband is the type that you can get more out of him with honey, mm-hmm. then you're going to want a negotiator. You're going to want somebody that's laid back and that isn't going to be real hardcore and go for the throat. Whereas if your husband is just a bad individual, and you know that he's a power freak and he's going to want to control everything, then you're going to need somebody that's a little more aggressive. The worst thing that you can do if you want to settle your divorce is to confuse those two. Mm-hmm. And it's if you need a mediator or someone that's going to go in and try and settle your case, you may not want to go in and hire a barracuda, because all you're going to do is prolong the divorce process. You also want to make sure that you've got somebody that you're comfortable with, somebody that you want to be in the trenches with, because more than likely this is going to be one of the worst experiences of your life. It's certainly going to be one of the most trying. It's a long process, and it's an expensive process. So you want to make sure that you hire somebody that you're comfortable with, somebody that you know will return your phone calls, and somebody that you're comfortable with, mm-hmm. That your personality meshes with. I would say that's probably one of the most important things.
So in that, I guess you want to go in and meet the person initially on a consult, mm-hmm. So that way you can get a good feeling for whether or not they're the right person.
The other thing you want to do in that consult is you want to make sure that you understand the process from beginning to end. You need a roadmap so you know where you start and where you end.
Okay. Our time is up for this edition of Legalese. I would like to thank our guest for taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us and for sharing his thoughts and insights. If you would like more information about Legalese or any other program on GHS TV, please refer to our website at www.ghstv.org. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to join us next month for more discussion on legal topics. Until then, I am Vince Perryman. Thank you for watching.